Content disclaimer: the views, comments, and opinions expressed by guest speakers or authors on this YouTube channel do not necessarily reflect or represent the views and opinions held by this channel's broadcasters and its sponsors. Parental guidance is advised. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teachers, scholarship, education, and research. For fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringed. On Saturday, September 23rd from 2 to 8 p.m. at the Alkaline Oasis in Brooklyn, Baba Ashraf Kwesi and Mira Kwesi returns to Brooklyn, New York after 4 years. Get your early bird tickets right now by texting 347-496-1022. Remember, they'll be teaching about the ancient history of Africa, Kemet, and also they're going to touch on Cleopatra. So get your tickets, 347-496-1022. Did you ever wonder if your birth date holds information about your destiny? Why you keep seeing the same number or several numbers? Welcome to Numbers Are Simple, People Are Complicated. I am your host, King Simon. Numbers are not here to control you, they're here to give you guidance. It's time for you to be able to read the numbers. Hey, this is King Simon. Remember, make sure you go to my website, kingsimonproductions.wordpress.com. That's kingsimonproductions.wordpress.com or Linktree at King Simon the Numeral Beta. Get all 4 of my books, and of course, that's the Numeral Beta for Mental Stability. Numbers are simple, people are complicated. Numbers are simple, children's health is important, and no promotion is bad promotion. Just spell my name right. Make sure you get them now on all my links. That's kingsimonproductions.wordpress.com. Go now. It's the numerational session with King Simon. Text your full name and date of birth to 347-496-1022. That's 347-496-1022. And get my books on Amazon now. Yes, greetings, family. We got a great show for you tonight. Tonight, we have the one, the only brother, Student Minister Arthur Muhammad, the New York City representative of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan on today, Wednesday, September the 20th. He'll be up in the next 5 minutes, so make sure y'all tune in and lock in and tell a friend, tell your neighbor that King Simon is in the building. I hope everybody's feeling well. Yeah. I'm broadcasting. Of course, I'm not in my regular office, but I'm happy to be with you anyway. You know how we do. Remember, this coming Saturday, we have the one, the only Baba Ashwa Kwesi and Mirra Kwesi as they return to New York City. That's right, they return it to New York City live and direct. Get your early bird tickets right now. From September the 1st to 9/22, we're gonna have our dear family Baba Ashra Kwesi coming up live and direct with Mirra Kwesi, and they're gonna be speaking about some very interesting thing about ancient history and all the different things that they got coming up. So we're gonna have them live and direct coming up on Saturday. I'm gonna have them on Saturday. So I am in town. I am in New York, and I can't wait to see all of you that's gonna be passing through. And don't forget my little cousin, husband, the one, the only, Eddie. Brother Eddie Bellas is doing an album release conscious party and album release happening at Nicholas, Brooklyn. And the name of the album is called Wisdom. Yeah, we're going to be speaking on wisdom. That's the name of the album. So make sure y'all there from 8 p.m. to like 11 p.m. But I'm going to be, of course, at this event, and then I'm going to head over to this event to support my cousin and her beautiful and great husband right here. So, and don't forget some of my sponsors. We got Dr. Shakira Moore, one of my sponsors, certified holistic practitioner. Make sure you go to a Linktree/King Simon. Oh, well, not that's Linktree/Holistica Healing. That's Linktree/Holistica Healing. And don't forget, Lloyd Strayhorn is also one of my sponsors. Make sure you go to Lloyd-Strayhorn.com. That's Lloyd-Strayhorn.com. 800-581-4400. Big up to More Money, More Travel. Big up to Tariq Moore. Make sure you hit him up at the website or give him a call. Also at the number on the screen, specialize in cruises, weddings, destination flights, hotels, car rental, and restaurants, and much more. And if you're in Wilmington, Delaware, make sure you check out Drop Squad Kitchen. Make sure you tell Abundance Child and the whole family that King Simon sent you. And big up to EPS Holistic Health and Wellness. Make sure you get all your products for your muscle, after workout, all of that. I use their products for muscle relaxing and all that. So make sure you support them. And do remember Nicholas Brooklyn and Nicholas Cultural. You remember Nicholas Brooklyn. Remember, get him a call at 718-858-4400. 10% off with this flyer for all retail purchases. So make sure you support them. And remember, if you want to take a trip with Baba Ashra Kwesi, make sure you give him a call at 214-371-0206. Him and Mirra Kwesi take y'all on a 15-day historical trip throughout Kemet, throughout Cairo, throughout Nubia. So make sure you check them out. And if you want to buy any of my books, you can go to Linktree/King Simon the Numero Veda. If you want to take my course, my 2-hour course on Udemy, go to Linktree/King Simon the Numero Veda. If you want to take my 8-hour course, go to Linktree/King Simon the Numero Veda. And if you want to book a mathematical session with me, numerovation consultation, remember the study of numbers or numerology is applied mathematics. Learn how to use and apply your mathematics, and they will guide you, my friends. And of course, family, remember, accept what is, let go of what was, and have faith in what will be. And like Dr. B. Sirius always says, I forgive myself, my family, and others for imperfection, and I am thankful for life. As we got behind the scenes a dear brother of mine, man. Woo, we go back. we go back. And this brother and I was in the ministry class back in the 90s. Of course, Minister Abdul Haq was teaching a time, and Brother Roland, Minister Roland was teaching one time. There's so many people that was teaching that class. Dr. Khalid came through sometimes, Minister Conrad, all of the greats. Of course, Abdul Hafiz, Minister Abdul Hafiz, the late great Minister Abdul Hafiz, the late great Dr. Khalid Muhammad, who we used to call Super K back in the day, Kevin Muhammad, but his name was Abdul Hafiz. He transitioned during the whole pandemic thing. So, but today happens to be his Earth Strong. He would be 60 years today. And those who don't know who Minister Abdul Hafiz was, before I bring on our dear family member, he was with us, man. He was over there at Dr. Ben's funeral with me, Blue Pill and Red Pill. He was also there with us with the conscious thing with me, Nuri. Polite was there at that time. Sanetta, Seti, Bill came through. Brother Nuri was in there, of course. So, and of course, the brother that I'm about to bring on, man, of course, he shares a picture with our beloved brother, man. And I want to welcome my brother for the first time on my platform, the one, the only brother, minister, student minister. My brother, your brother, the one, the only brother Arthur Muhammad is coming on right now as we welcome brother Arthur. How are you, my brother? Good to see you.
Man, feeling good. Assalamu alaikum to
I,
you. Peace and power to your listening audience. And let me just say how honored I am to be on your platform, as well as I want to just say publicly that I'm very proud of you, brother, and the impact that you're making in our community, advancing the consciousness, brother. May Allah continue to bless you.
Man, brother, vice versa, brother. I am so proud of you, especially where we came from, man, and seeing what you've done, man, and watching you grow and grow and grow. And a lot of people don't know, brother Arthur was there all the time. Brother Arthur was there behind the scenes, sometimes always filling in as a lieutenant, a soldier. I mean, this brother have done a lot. A private soldier helped me out in my training back in the day, martial arts training. We all know that.
Whoops,
I'll work out. All work out. And I'm honored to have you here. Family, this is our brother Arthur Muhammad, guest student minister and the New York City representative of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And of course, if you want to contact brother Arthur, you can go via Facebook at Arthur.Muhammad and also his IG at Bro Arthur Muhammad, showing love. And remember, if you want to go to Temple, Mosque number 7, make sure you go to the website. That's NOINewYork.org. And if you want to hear things from out of Chicago, go to Mosque Miriam. That's NOI.org. You can go and support them. And if you're in New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, come on out and support our brother as much as you possibly can, because this brother has always been a fiery brother, and he's always been a part of the movements, even from the hip hop world to now. I was in the reggae world, he was in the hip hop. We were doing what we had to do, and I'm so proud of this brother. Again, thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for coming, man. Again, thank you very much, brother. First and foremost, how you been? How's the family, beloved?
Man, brother, I'm feeling well, and my family loved me the last time I checked. No, my family's doing well, brother. My wife and I, we just celebrated 30 years of marriage.
Yes, congratulations.
Some of you may know my wife is a judge in the city of Mount Vernon, and we were blessed to graduate 4 daughters from college, man. And I'm very proud of my family and my children. All praise is due to Allah.
Praise is due to Allah, man. But, my children are doing well, man. I have 12 grandchildren now, bro. Oh, man. And from the 4 from the 4
praises to Allah.
They got married and did their thing, brother. So I'm so honored that and I know my former wife, Sister Valda, said she ran into you at one of the Savior's Day. So it's always good to know when she tells me these things. I'll be like, wow, this is some beautiful stuff. And on the heels of the 60th birthday, birth strong of our brother there, Abdul Hafiz Muhammad. Let's go down that journey, because you was there back in the late 80s and all of that, when Super K or Minister Kevin, brother Kevin was there. You know what I'm saying? Go back into that history when you started in the nation, brother, and tell out before we get into the gist of everything, brother. Please.
Well, some of you know that I came in to the Nation of Islam from the Zulu Nation. I was a rapper that toured around the world. Started hip hop in the 70s.
Yes.
But I started listening to Minister Farrakhan in 1984 as he began to support Jesse Jackson's presidential campaign. I was a big Jesse fan. I loved the way that Jesse would wrangle with Caucasian politicians and defeat them in the field or the arena of ideas. And so when Jesse made the Hymietown comment, and I saw Minister Farrakhan come to his aid, that's the first time that I ever saw him. I only heard of Brother Malcolm and, of course, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. I was immediately captivated at his strength, going on national television and daring the Caucasian, the Jewish power structure at that time, to put their hands on our brother and vowing his support. And immediately after, I wanted to hear everything I could get from this brother. So I would find myself in Harlem trying to buy tapes of the minister from the brothers. And just like Biggie, we used to make the tape rock to the tape pop. I would listen to the Farrakhan tapes, but I was still living a life of the streets.
Right.
Until one day in 1988, I was blessed to go to Savior's Day in Chicago. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan repurchased Mosque Mariam, that they didn't move into it that particular year. So they had Savior's Day under this huge tent on the property in the parking lot. And it was there that I decided to become a Muslim and to put off all of my KV ways. And I went to the mosque that next Sunday on 125th Street and 5th Avenue. It was known as the National Black Theater.
Back in the day, yes, sir.
On the third floor.
Yes, sir.
And I couldn't wait for a young Kevin Muhammad to finish speaking just to ask who wants to join. And I did. And I learned so much from our brother.
Yes, sir.
One of the greatest attributes that I can attest to from my big brother, may Allah be pleased with him, is that he was a soldier.
Yes, he was.
And soldiers follow instructions, even if the instruction is not to their liking, even if the instruction is not to their doing. And that's something that we have to do, not only in the organizational world, but even playing your position is key. And because he played his position and he followed the dictates of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, we can say that Minister Abdul Hafiz Muhammad was the longest standing minister in the history of Mosque number 7.
That's right.
And so, because he wasn't impatient.
That's right.
As you know, the history, we had Brother Khalid Abdul Muhammad,
yes, sir.
A brother who I learned so much from. Then we had our dear brother Conrad Muhammad, a brother who I learned so much from.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And then we even had a short time with Brother Benjamin Chavis, formerly known as Benjamin Muhammad, who actually gave the greatest advice, that ministerial advice that I ever had. I'll deal with that at another time. And then to Brother Abdul Hafiz Muhammad. And he is the standard and the template of service, of strength, of sticking to the program. So shout out, hats off, may Allah forever be pleased with that soldier, Minister Abdul Hafiz Muhammad.
That's right. That's right. That's right. I remember him telling me that, and I used to call him on a regular. Matter of fact, this is how he got over to this event, because I gave him a call, and he came over to that event with Sarah Super Seti, Polite, everybody debating and doing, and Brother Nuri came in, and it was a beautiful, beautiful thing. But I remember him telling me after the wedding, he did my wedding, with my second wife, Sister Valda, and he said that was his first wedding that he ever did.
Wow!
And I was so honored, and because when he transitioned, my eyes just started working. And I remember him telling me that, and he did it in Valda's father's house, and we had a ceremony, and then went to ourselves. But I remember that. I mean, tears is coming to my eyes now, because that brother, he meant a lot, and I was able to call him when I needed to talk to him. Even though I wasn't active, but he seen what I was doing, galvanizing people, giving work to the brothers when I was in the reggae world, giving them to clubs and giving work at different bigger shows and all that kind of stuff. It was, these were the type of things that I was able to call him, or Minister Conrad, or Minister Khalid back in the day, and even, had you on my hip too, brother. So, brothers, and working in and out of Canada. So being even coming through that ministry class, brother, it was work. We got the ministry manual, we got the orders back in the day, and even if we're there or not, we still on our general orders all the time.
Absolutely.
I still got them in my pocket. Up to this day, I still got my general order. And I thank you, and of course I thank all the great soldiers from Temple Number 7, but most of all the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan for what he showed us through the teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. And I love that picture with you and him and all that, and all the other ones that I've seen. And I just thank you for keeping up the work. I've seen the renovations and everything. Beautiful, beautiful mosque. And I'm proud of what y'all have done with Temple or Mosque Number 7. I keep on saying Temple, going back to the old history.
That's fine. Well, brother, when the pandemic, as you call it, the plandemic, when the pandemic happened, we shut the mosque down.
Yeah, I remember.
For about 18 months. Mm-hmm. And when we came back to the mosque, we looked at it, and made a painful appraisal and
Yes.
said, you know what, we got to fix our beloved mosque. And so we didn't have an architectural plan. So I went to work on my computer and I did a rendition in Facebook. I took my time, I superimposed the look of the mosque,
Hmm.
and then I put some plans together
Yes, sir.
and I gave it to Captain Majid, who was the project manager. And I said, brother, this is what I want the mosque to look like, and it has a Moss Marion vibe to it.
Yes, it
And the
does.
color scheme and the cleanliness and the brightness. And he delivered. In fact, we under promised and over delivered. And so the sanctuary is fitting for the great teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, the supreme wisdom. We just can't have the supreme wisdom on paper or on cap, but the house that we teach it from is not right and exact.
Absolutely, brother. And like I said, I'm proud of you. Anybody who wants to go to the mosque, y'all are welcome there. They have meetings every Sunday. They have great mind stirring meetings every Sunday. You got the contact number to them is 646 583 3977. They're located at 106-08 West 127th Street, New York, New York. You can go on and hear the life-giving teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad and the honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan right there, and go and get and just show your love. You can also donate. If you go to their website, you can donate and show love. You can join the Nation of Islam. And sometimes, family, all of us are part of the Nation of Islam. A lot of us don't realize that we're part of the world of peace. This is the nation of peace. That's all Islam means. One who is of peace. So and the Muslims are one who is of peace. So once you understand that, we are all part of it. And brother student minister Arthur, you coming, you're now, since our beloved brother transition, you kind of taking over the helm. But you're coming from this is a rich legacy of Malcolm X, Minister Farrakhan. I mean, this is some big shoes, my brother. You know this, some big shoes, and I believe me, brother. I am not envious. I love and see what you're doing, and you deserve the chance to do what you, because you've always been that soldier. Him and I, people don't know, him and I was right there at the door with Tupac in the hospital when the FBI came to the door. People don't remember this type of stuff. We was there and we will not let them in. And we're not that big a brother. They came with some burly white boys, but we just knew that Allah was on our side. In the person of Master Farad Muhammad, we knew that he was on our side, and we knew that we was going to keep to our orders and walk our posts in a perfect manner, keeping always on the alert. Period.
Could I say this, brother? Two things.
Please,
You
brother.
mentioned our mosque at 106-08 West 127th Street.
Yes.
We meet there, of course, at 11 o'clock. But if you're in Brooklyn, you can go to 202 Pennsylvania Avenue,
Yes, sir.
and hear our student minister, Henry Muhammad.
Beloved.
One of the things that we have done is to expand our base of operations. Some of you may not know, but that prior to 1975, under the leadership of then Minister Louis Farrakhan, who was the still is, but the national representative of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, they had 18 mosques, all the way up to Mosque 7R. And
right.
so we have been given that challenge to begin to reduplicate his work. So not only are we in Brooklyn, but in Queens, we meet on Merrick Boulevard at 2 p.m. In Northern New Jersey, we meet in Inglewood. And now we just opened up a study group in the Bronx on 229th and White Plains Road. And so we want to have sustainable growth, because we believe that the life-giving, life-saving teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad will raise the moral compass of our people. And as we are clear with our spirituality, and as we go into the streets and get our people, we believe that we will have success. Yes. Now, to respond to what you said about the big shoes of wearing, of being in number 7,
yes, sir.
My spirit, and I don't take for granted the weight of the assignment.
Yes, it is.
But my spirit is to help this man that's right behind me, yes, Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. I owe him my life, because my life was headed for self-destruction. When you self-admittedly bound to the vices of this world, and you have stinking thinking, that's a deadly cocktail for
Yes,
an
sir.
early death.
Yes, sir.
And so at the tender age of 23 years old, almost 36 years ago, I joined the Nation of Islam. And I'm so grateful every day. The first day I heard this man speak in 1984. So I pay homage. So I feel like every day I'm striving to help him, because in believing in helping him, I'm helping the two also that are next to him,
That's right.
the most honorable Elijah Muhammad and Master Fard Muhammad. So I have a purpose driven life. So if I keep them in front of me and I keep his guidance, then the hard job, the daunting task is going to be made a little bit easier, because I'm not trying to do it on my own volition.
Of course, and I applaud you, my brother, and I applaud your connection and showing that love for the honorable, the honorable Elijah, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, and of course the honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And like I said, it is a big shoes. Harlem is a big place. They said, remember, they used to say that New York was the heart. That was the heart, brother. And when the heart don't pump, bro, you know what it is.
That's right.
The body is gone. So
That's
I
right.
remember that always distinctly, especially moving through that street, especially when Dr. Khalid was there, Minister Conrad. Big up to Minister Conrad. His birthday just passed recently. Also, Minister Conrad Tillard right now, and all the great works that he did during his tenure there. And one of the topics I wanted to delve into is the state of the Black race in these times. What, from your perspective, from the Nation of Islam's perspective, how do you see the state of the Black race in these times?
Well, though we're in the information age, we're still sleeping giants.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We have not solved the riddle. We have billionaires, we have millionaires, we have talented people, great athletes, the fastest woman in the world, the fastest man in the world, the person with the greatest vertical leap, the person with the most streams on social media. But one thing we don't have is unity.
Yeah.
And so, no matter how high we may elevate individually, we cannot rise as high as the lowest man, or as they say, a chain is only as strong as its weakest link. With all of the supreme wisdom that the various schools of thoughts have, we can't use that intellect to come together just on one project, on one initiative. So I see leadership having this competition of irrelevancy. And when the head is fighting, then the body is going to be disconnected. So I think until we get our leadership having like minds come together and agree on that which we can agree upon. If it's, hey, listen, let's get a building in Harlem that we're going to dedicate to the young people, and we agree to put a certain amount in, and we're not going to touch it, and we put together a death oath. If anyone mess up the money, they vow to die.
That's right.
Until we come together so that we can say we did it, opposed to say we have this or well we have that. But if we can, as organizations and groups, come together and do something for the betterment, I think we'll get more respect from the people that we're trying to come in contact with and to enlighten.
Powerful, brother. I wish I was at home. I'm in New York right now visiting with my mother. I have an event here. And you know what's so funny? I came upstairs today and my mother was listening to Minister Farrakhan. She's 84 years of age. And she was laying back just listening. I said, I know that voice. and then sure enough, I told her that I'm going to be doing an interview with one of his student ministers here. So she might be watching anyway. Big up, Mom. I know you probably
Mom.
You know what I'm saying? And she's from Jamaica too. Minister Farrakhan's father was from Jamaica. His mother was from St. Kitts and Nevis. So, knowing that dynamic is just knowing, and there's a lot going on. And, why I said with this topic is because now you got ADOS fighting with FBA and FBA fighting with Pan-African and Pan-African fighting with, it's just so much, and I used to love to see my lectures filled with people from the nation, the Moors, everybody, Christian. Because the last time I seen that in actuality was when Minister Conrad and Minister Khalid had to have a resolve for Minister Farrakhan at the National Black Theater. That's the last time I really seen the unification of the whole community come under one umbrella at the National Black Theater. So how can we, not only the nation, but the UNIA, have they ever been any sit downs with the brothers from the nation, the brothers from the Moore Science, the brothers from the UNIA to come to a one single accord? Now,
Well, I don't think that we have done that in New York City, but that was the premise of the Million Man March, which the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan pretty much allowed every organization. I mean, you can't let every organization, but there was a representation from just about every school of thought there. He didn't want to just make it a Nation of Islam thing. And he did that in all of the subsequent marches, including the last one, 10-10-15, which was the Justice or Else March, which just showed you that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, in spite of the Jewish attack, in spite of the government attack, and even in spite of the attack from our own people who call themselves conscious, the minister still is able to draw many people by the grace of Allah. He can draw them in mosques, he can draw them in stadiums, and he can draw them on the mall on Washington, but he still gave a clarion message and let various representations have an opportunity to speak, because at the end of the day, everybody's not going to join the Nation of Islam.
That's right. That's right.
Everybody's not going to be a Moor. Everybody's not going to be a part of the 5%, a Hebrew Israelite. Everyone is not going to embrace the Medu Neter and study the ancient science of Kemet. All of it is good. All of it is relevant. And I'd rather see a brother on the street who's involved in street life and gang life embrace any of those sciences, because their spirituality, their consciousness, their behavior will get better. So I think the greatest challenge that we have is putting egos aside and just start having cordiality and respect for one another, because the old way of competing, to me, in my humble opinion, watching it doesn't work, or it doesn't serve for the greater good.
Right. Because, and those that are just tuning in, we're here with our dear brother, student minister Arthur Muhammad, the New York City representative of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, right here on my channel. For the first time, I've had y'all see me had Brother Nuri on, Brother Minister Nuri. You see me have Brother Minister Wesley Muhammad, and I think this is the brother that I had to get on. I remember calling him, and he said, let me do what I got to do after this time, and he kept his word, because in our teachings, our word is our bond, and our bond is life, and we shall give our life before our word shall fail. And I remember that those lessons is very hard. And brother Arthur, thank you again, because it was people like you who was the lieutenant that kept us private soldiers moving. And when people ask me about, and from the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and of course the study guide of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, which I still have. I have the original one before it even produced. And big up to Brother Ramza. Brother Ramza gave me so much. Oh man, Brother Ramza, may he rest in peace and rest in eternal peace. He gave me so much back in the day. And watching, even seeing Brother Jason X come back, and seeing Brother James, and you're triggering something in me, like it's like a lot of energy coming.
And we still got a place in the ranks for you, brother.
I know.
I'm like, no, you can't stand there. That's reserved for Brother Simon.
You know what I'm saying? But I miss the brotherhood to that point. And anybody asks me if should they join the nation, I always say yes. It's a school that we should all go through. Every young man and young woman should go through the FOI or the MGT or GCC classes. They should. And I went there. I went to see Brother Minister Nori, Student Minister Nori, while he was in Georgia. And a friend invited me out who just became part of the nation. I said, as soon as I walked in there, you start knowing everybody, Brother Thorough. I'm home again with a lot of the brothers and sisters that remember me and see me from New York.
Brother Simon, the beauty of the Nation of Islam is we have over 140 mosques and study groups throughout the country. So
Yeah.
no matter where you go in America that has a population of black people, you can find a mosque. And
That's right.
so that's a very beautiful thing. But I also wanted to say something
Please.
that's beautiful about our operation here at Mosque Number 7. Under the leadership of Minister Abdul Hafiz Muhammad in 2017, he brought the Muhammad University of New York, of
Mm.
Islam here in New York, back online. So
Ooh.
we've been back online. And if you remember, under Minister Conrad, we first got
Yes.
online. Then there was an interruption for almost 20 years
Yep.
from the University of Islam school system that we have in the Nation of Islam. But we're back online. So we started school last week. And so I got here to the mosque. I'm in my office and see the beautiful students with their uniforms on. We've converted several rooms into classrooms because teaching our babies in an independent school system is what the most honorable Elijah Muhammad did. In fact, that's why he first was incarcerated,
Exactly.
because he told all of the believers to take your children out of the public school system, and he was
Right.
charged with the endangerment of a child or children. And so that commitment to educating our own is key, because if the parents are conscious, but their children are being taught with this new agenda that's very friendly to the
Mm.
LGBT world, the revisionist history when it comes to our history. They are being influenced, and we're all fighting against the imagery that's on social media. So, it's a blessing to have a school, and inshallah, in the next couple of years, we look to expand it to more locations, God willing.
And and that's commendable, because a lot of people don't know what the most honorable Elijah Muhammad went through, and his beloved wife, especially for the homeschooling that Mother Clara Muhammad started and then started going. I remember studying that history and going back, and then I walked past the Clara Muhammad and Elijah Muhammad High School just a few days ago. That was in Brooklyn. That used to boast 5,000 people back in the day. People don't realize how big Brooklyn was. And that they still have a lot of artifacts in the basement of that place. But
Wow.
they're not willing to give it up to y'all. Why don't they just give it to y'all? It's right there on Putman and Bedford. All they have to do is say, yo, y'all are still doing this, give it to them. And I'm like, when somebody told me that, I was like, so what are they holding it for? If they're not going to put up all the paraphernalia or the stuff that's there, why don't they give it back? But a lot of people are still holding on to a lot of, past arguments against, the Bilalians and all that. I'm glad that, the minister's, holding Juma, and he's doing certain things to show them that he's willing to give that olive branch to, quote unquote, the quote unquote Orthodox Muslims sometimes. But we
Let me
still,
just jump in. I
please.
don't think that the minister set up Juma to appease the Sunni or the Orthodox
Okay.
community. Because when the Honorable Elijah Muhammad built the mosque in Chicago, it used to be a Greek Orthodox church. He
Mm-hmm.
built the Nimba. So he
Mm-hmm.
always wanted, but he had a methodology and an approach to how he was gradually bringing us into
Right.
the universality
Oh,
of Islam without losing our identity.
right.
I once heard the minister said, I would never jump over a black Christian to shake hands or make friends with a white Arab. So
Mm-hmm.
our mission is message to the black man in America, but our religion and what Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, taught, we embrace the principles of the religion, but
Right.
we also follow the teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. That's what makes us unique.
That's right.
So we as we get closer to the universality of Islam, we do that without forsaking these three men that are behind me and what they teach and what they taught. And that again makes us in the Nation of Islam very unique.
Thank you for correcting me, brother. I know I was getting on a rant.
No, that's good, brother. I'm glad that it came out for clarity purposes. That's
Yeah.
fine.
No, no, I knew you would help me out with that because I know I haven't been around that much, so I wouldn't know. But a lot of people, the streets talk, and a lot of the streets don't know what they're talking about unless they're there, and that is the truth. So I'm glad I have you and people like Brother Minister Nori and Brother Minister Wesley to clarify certain things for my audience when I need to, because I'm still a full 100% supporter of the nation. I send people to there. I tell people I never speak bad about them because they saved my life, just like the Ansar saved my life in the mid '80s before I came into the nation,
That's right.
and I understood that no matter what the leader's going through now, I wasn't there for that. I was there. Most of us joined these organizations from the goodness of our heart because we want to clean up. We want to clean up, shape up, and do what we're supposed to do for ourselves and our creator. And I'm just thankful for what y'all taught about who is the original man. The original man is the Asiatic black man, the maker, the owner, the cream of the planet Earth, God of the universe. So I understood that. And that's what triggered me in the 5% back when I was 14. And that's what triggered me to move forward towards all of this. That saved my life. Every one of them saved my life. So I just,
Brother, I just wanted to give a shout out to the gods and earths
yes,
because, I used to see them in Mount Vernon, see them in the Bronx,
yes,
and brothers that didn't pass their school exams, man, they put those lessons and they would say it with such pride, and so I gravitated towards the gods.
mm-hmm.
In fact, if one of the brothers would have pulled me hard enough, I might have been God body. But I was so into hip hop at the time. I joined the Zulu Nation, but I first got my lessons in the Zulu Nation,
Mm.
and so I just wanted to shout out the Nation of Gods and Earth because when the nation fell in 1975 and Imam Waruddin Muhammad changed the direction of the nation, and there was no more teachings. It was the brothers from the 5% nation that kept the knowledge of the true and living God, the language of the lessons, and the life of a righteous man as taught by the most honorable Elijah Muhammad alive.
That's
So
right.
we in the honorable minister Louis Farrakhan loves the gods and earths. I
That's
want
right.
y'all to know
That's
that.
right.
And
That's right.
so we owe them a great debt of gratitude. And so shout out to Father Allah.
That's right, Father Allah. That's right. Before we close out, brother, I want to thank you very much for coming on. I'm not going to keep you because I know you're a busy man, and you have a city to run with the grace of the Almighty Creator of the heaven and the earth, man. And send my love to all the brothers and sisters, man. And because they really mean a lot on these streets. A lot of people don't know. They really mean a lot. And what they're doing is not in vain. That paper is a ministry. Whatever they're doing in business is a ministry. Do what you're supposed to do and make it happen. Because I've taken what I've learned from there, and I can tell people, you take what you need. If you're not going to stay in an organization, take what you need and make yourself better. That's why I can't leave the general orders at home. Even in the dojo, you gotta be ready to train and all that. So it's all a training ground. But I commend you, my brother. I commend all of the brothers and sisters in the nation that are doing what they have to do to stay right, stay righteous in this realm. And any programs coming up that you want? I know there's only one number one program, but any program, go ahead, talk about it real quick.
Well, of course, we are fastly approaching October 16th,
Yes,
which will commemorate the great Million Man March, and we're going to have a program. We'll come out more with it locally, celebrating with our mosque in Chicago. But the Day of Atonement, and I just want to say this as I close:
yes, sir.
the Day of Atonement or the Million Man March was not about just gathering people; it was gathering people to atone. And
Yes,
I
sir.
just want to say, if there's anybody that's listening today, if you have some unresolved beef, unresolved conflict, be the bigger person. There's a hadith in the holy in the there's a hadith that the holy prophet asked his companions, and he said to them, "Do you know what is better than fasting and prayer. And they asked him what? And he said, the reconciliation of the brotherhood. So we have splinters, we have fractions, we have divisions. And I think that in this spirit of atonement or this season of atonement, let's attempt to right the wrongs. Let's attempt to try to come together so that we will have a chance of having some operational unity. Every leader that we follow wanted to see the unity of our people. So let's be the change. If not now, when? And if not us, then who? Allah God will raise up another people to do that. That's the biggest riddle that we have to solve. Thank you so much, brother. May Allah continue to bless you.
Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. You too, my brother. Take care. Take care. That's our brother, Brother Arthur Muhammad. Enough respect to him and his whole family. Want to thank all of you for tuning in and locking in. I'm going to play a clip from Brother Arthur Muhammad and one of a closing clip before we close out of here. And I want everybody to listen very attentively, because our brother is speaking the words of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad as taught to him by the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and of course, enough honor and respect to him all the time. So we're gonna make sure we do what we gotta do constantly.
The proper perspective of a believer that is undergoing trial, so teaches the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, is that down is only down with a down attitude. Profound. Down is only down with a down attitude. So even if you had a setback in your life, made a failed investment, had a failed relationship, if you've experienced betrayal, oppression, and debt, even if you had to take a step back, have to make a skillful retreat, down is only down with a down attitude. So the key is, no matter what befalls you and I, never allow yourself to get down. Because down is only down with a down attitude. It's a matter of perspective. Because when you know that after difficulty comes in, when you know that Allah is off returning to mercy, when you know that Allah is never a breaker of his promise, when you know that Allah is with you always, nothing can stop you. You all the way up. You all the way up, because you can never be down with an up attitude. Okay.
My brother. It is an honor. I had Brother Minister on. If y'all didn't see our brother Minister Arthur Muhammad, student minister, and New York representative of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. If you ever get a chance to go to Temple number 7, please, there's the website. That's noynewyork.org. Or you can go, and if you want to check out what's happening in Chicago with the Mother Mosque itself, Mosque Mariam, go to noi.org. Once again, I want to thank our beloved brother, a dear friend of mine for many years. We was in the ministry class. We done security. We've been out there with the papers and spreading the message and propagating together. Enough respect to him. From 89, I was there, 89, 90s. That's when I joined the Nation of Islam until 1995, when I left out of the nation and became inactive. But we're all members of the Nation of Islam. Remember, it's only a nation of peace. That's all we strive to be. And sometimes we are at our peaceful moments when we're sleeping. Sometimes we're at our most peaceful moment when we're sleeping. But, again, I want to thank our dear beloved that came on, our dear brother that came on, Minister Arthur. And again, this is the mosque. If you ever get a chance to go, please, by all means, here it is. Let me make sure that it's in here. Hold on. Let me make sure that we got the right size, baby. There you go. There it is. You can donate. You can join. You can watch the webcast. You can definitely, it's called the Historical Mosque, Muhammad's Mosque, number 7. is the Eastern Regional Headquarters of the Nation of Islam, dedicated to the spiritual advancement under the guidance of Allah, God, and the teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad through his representative, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. All of our people who wish to experience the word of Allah, God, as it relates to our present day condition and struggle for freedom, justice, and equality, are invited to reclaim their own and join the Nation of Islam. Sunday meetings at 11 a.m., Wednesday meetings at 8 p.m., Friday study group 7:30 p.m. So if you get a chance to go out there, please show them some love. Big up to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Of course, he is 90 years of age and still speaking strong and doing what he got to do and keeping it moving. So again, want to thank our dear brother for coming on. Want to thank all of you for tuning in and locking in. Make sure you support Brother Minister Arthur at FB. That's at Arthur.Muhammad. That's Facebook at Arthur.Muhammad, and also IG at Bro Arthur Muhammad. He's also a DJ, very good DJ. Now, if you want to invite him for to do a nice clean cut DJing party where he removes all the cuss words out of all of those records, you know what I'm saying? He's also a great DJ and a crowd motivator. He's an MC and a crowd motivator, which means, of course, motivating the crowd, master of the crowd control, master of ceremony. He's one of those brothers that do what they do best when they hit that microphone. So make sure y'all support them. Again, family, want to thank each and every one of y'all. Tonight at 9 o'clock, I should be on with Mr. G and Baba Ashra Kwesi. So I'm waiting to get the link from Mr. G so I can send it to Baba Ashra Kwesi. And then on Thursday, I will be on with the one, the only Brother Rich from Black Magic 363 with Baba Ashra Kwesi. And remember, family, if you are in New York City, remember we have Baba Ashra Kwesi and Mira Kwesi returning to New York after 4 years. So make sure you come on out. Tickets are available. Tickets are available right now via Cash App, PayPal, or Eventbrite. If you want those links, you could either go to my Linktree /King Simon, the numero Veda, or you can text me at 347-496-1022. That's 347-496-1022. 1022. Once again, we want to thank Brother Arthur Muhammad, Brother Student Minister Arthur Muhammad, the New York City representative of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. I want to say happy cosmic return to Minister Hafiz, who you're seeing him right here on the other side of Brother Arthur. Minister Hafiz, who transitioned a couple years ago. Today, he would have been 60 years of age. Minister Abdul Hafiz, also known as Minister Kevin Muhammad back in the day. Yes, he was hanging out with us at the conscious events. Yes, he was over there at Dr. Ben's funeral. He also spoke at Dr. Ben's funeral. So, and Brother Arthur is doing a wonderful job at Mosque number 7 in New York. He was with Dr. Khalid. I see Brother David in this picture. I think Brother Malachi is in this picture, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's Brother Malachi's brother actually in the picture. And of course, Brother Arthur's right there. There's Brother Arthur with Minister Khalid Abdul Muhammad, of course. Here's Brother Arthur again speaking while Minister Conrad and Dr. Khalid is watching and observing. And of course, here is Minister Conrad, and I forgot that other brother on the other side of Brother Arthur, and of course, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and Brother Arthur together in one picture. Again, want to thank him for coming on. Thank y'all for tuning in. If you want to advertise with your brother, please, by all means, you know what it is. You can advertise with your brother anytime. Here it is. Make sure you email me at ksptvmedia@gmail.com. And also want to remind people, of course, we got, after the Ashra Kwesi event, we're going to be going to the album release party of Eddie Belez. And the name of the new album is called Wisdom. Remember, wisdom is better than silver and gold. All happening at Nicholas, Brooklyn. But we'll be here first from 2 to 8 p.m. And then from 8 to 11, we're going over to Nicholas, which is only about 10 minutes away, 10 to 20 minutes away from the venue. And big up to our sponsors, Dr. Shakira Moore, Linktree /Holistica Healer, and also our brother Lloyd Strayhorn, Lloyd-Strayhorn.com, 800-581-4401. Tariq Moore, Tariq Moore Travels. Make sure you hit him up. Hit him up at the email right there below. Add also the phone number. Tell him King Simon sent you. And remember, Drop Squad Kitchen in Wilmington, Delaware. If you're in Wilmington, hit them up at 302-984-2773. If you want some good natural muscle pain relievers, make sure you hit up EPS Holistic Health and Wellness.square.site. And do remember, go to Nicholas Brooklyn and get 10% off with this flyer right now. Take a snapshot of it. Get 10% off at all retail prices at Nicholas Brooklyn and Nicholas Cultural. And remember, if you want to go on that trip with Baba Ashraf Kwesi, please give him a call at 214-371-0206. Tell him King Simon sent you, and he'll talk to you and let you know how it works. And remember, if you want to get any of my books, go to Linktree/King Simon the Numerator. You want to take any of my classes, that's my 2-hour class on Udemy. It is highly rated right now, so you better go on it right now. And if you want to take my 8-hour course, if you're ready to really learn, take my 8-hour course and go to my Linktree/King Simon the Numerator. And remember, family, do remember always, Numerovation consultations. If you want to book an appointment for that special advertisement rate, text me at 347-496-1022, your full name and date of birth. And also, family, I do private sessions on YouTube now. YouTube private sessions I do. That means you'll be able to broadcast it on any apparatus, whether it's TV, your iPad, your iPhone, your Android. You'll be able to broadcast your own session that you do with me on any apparatus. Remember, accept what is, let go of what was, and have faith in what will be. And remember, I forgive myself, my family, and others for imperfection. And I'm thankful for my life. Thank you very much for that, Dr. B. Serious all the time. And last but not least, let's close out with Dr. Delbert Blair's prayer. Please, Universal Creator, know in my heart that I love you. Please protect me and this planet on which I live now. Please open my mind, my spirit, and my soul to receive only truth in your love now. Thank you, Dr. Blair, for all that you've shared. Thank you, Dr. B. Serious, for all that you shared. This is Dr. Blair's website, themethacenter2.com, and this is Dr. B's Linktree. That's Linktree/Dr. B. Serious. Make sure you hit them up. Family, thank you very much for tuning in. It has been a pleasure to be before you. You know, I'm outside of my office right now. I'm in New York getting ready for this event, so don't touch that dial. Make sure you come on out. All young people are free, 13 years and younger are absolutely free for this event. So come on out, bring your children out, tell them to bring a notebook, pad, and pen to see what Baba Ashraf Kwesi is going to drop for them. And I will see you this coming in the next couple hours on Mr. G's platform, and tomorrow on Brother Rich's platform. We're going to be there tomorrow also, and tonight we're going to be with Mr. G tonight. All right, so don't touch that dial, and I'll see you soon. Peace and love. Take care. And remember, in the mortal words of Marcus Mosiah Garvey, up you mighty nation, you could accomplish what you will. In the words of Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad, regardless of land, label, or language, there's but one God. And in the words of Maya Angelou, and still we rise. Continue to rise to the top, family. Stay focused, stay peaceful, and stay your great self.
Content disclaimer. The views, comments, and opinions expressed by guest speakers or authors on this YouTube channel do not necessarily reflect or represent the views and opinions held by this channel's broadcasters and its sponsors. Parental guidance is advised. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teachers, scholarship, education, and research. For fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringed.
On Saturday, September 23rd from 2 to 8 p.m. at the Alkaline Oasis in Brooklyn, Baba Ashraf Kwesi and Mira Kwesi returns to Brooklyn, New York after 4 years. Get your early bird tickets right now by texting 347-496-1022. Remember, they'll be teaching about the ancient history of Africa, Kemet, and also they're going to touch on Cleopatra. So get your tickets, 347-496-1022.
Did you ever wonder if your birth date holds information about your destiny? Why you keep seeing the same number or several numbers? Welcome to Numbers Are Simple, People Are Complicated. I am your host, King Simon. Numbers are not here to control you, they're here to give you guidance. It's time for you to be able to read the numbers. It's the numerational session with King Simon. Text your full name and date of birth to 347-496-1022. That's 347-496-1022. And get my books on Amazon now. Hey, this is King Simon. Remember, make sure you go to my website, kingsimonproductions.wordpress.com. That's kingsimonproductions.wordpress.com or Linktree at King Simon the Numeral Base to get all 4 of my books. And of course, that's the Numerovation for Mental Stability. Numbers are simple, people are complicated. Numbers are simple, children's health is important, and no promotion is bad promotion. Just spell my name right. Make sure you get them now on all my links. That's kingsimonproductions.wordpress.com. Go now. Some people think that this esoteric knowledge is for the rich and powerful, when in actuality, the so-called 85% has a spark in them that if it is sparked through numerology, astrology, numerovation, whatever, it will raise them up from an 85%, maybe to a 10%, and eventually they become the 5%. Or prosperous righteous teachers. We gotta understand that this knowledge is not just for one class of people. We gotta get out of the class